What's up, Slackers? I'm Pete and Bessie here with my good buddies, Thompson and Ozzy. And welcome to another episode of Slacking Cast. Today we're going to be talking to you guys about, it's kind of a little bit of an esoteric concept, so it's a long walk to this one.
Yeah, this is going to be a hard one.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking to you guys about the concept of keeping information from a player as a game design tactic versus it being bad conveyance or poor game design. So we wanted to start that off kind of by talking about, just to give you an example, what we mean of some examples of keeping information from the player in a good way. So the few examples we came up with were story, puzzles, and games that teach you by playing. So anybody want to jump off?
Well, let's start with the first point you made, which was story. Yeah.
So that's an obvious one, right?
Right.
You need to keep information from a player to advance a story.
Yeah, and if you divulge too much, then it's not interesting.
Right.
Yep.
So that's an easy one.
Yes.
It's something that's forgiven for keeping the information away from you. You gotta ruin the story.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think I wanted to dive a little deeper into that because that's an obvious answer, right?
Right.
I think a better example of that might be the first thing that came to mind for me anyway was Limbo. Which if you guys aren't familiar with Limbo is a indie game, 2D platformer kind of thing, very atmospheric, very dark, sad, kind of gory a little bit. A little bit. Not excessively. It's monochrome. That might be a misleading description.
No, it's not because sure, a misleading description, but the only point that I could really make about Limbo is, and spoilers for Limbo, I guess, is the part where the kid pulls the limbs off of the spider and it just kind of makes him out as because that's something that is an early sign of I guess I don't want to say serial killers particularly, but what bad psychosis.
The point that I was getting at with it was more the fact that when you beat that game, it's not totally clear what it was ever about. It's the end.
You're just wandering through a forest and then you eventually find a dead body.
Well, no. At the end, you find your sister.
I know that. I didn't want to give it away.
Well, whatever. We said spoilers for
this whole thing.
Well, Limbo's fucking 6 years old. Whatever. We said spoilers for Limbo for a minute.
But it's kind of that.
But you don't even know that she's your sister. That's what we have.
Everybody just assumes.
Yeah, what we have players have assumed of the game, and I think that's an example of when. That can be an effective means of keeping information from the player.
Yeah.
I think one of the examples that you brought up was BioShock.
Yes.
Is an example of that, where not necessarily through advancing the story or the game.
That's just in use of a twist.
Yeah, but
even, they keep information from the player just to make that twist at the end.
Yeah, but even if you look at how the story is conveyed, you get most of the story from BioShock just from finding the audio logs and from in exploring the environment and stuff like that, and that's almost in a way keeping.
It's up to the player to analyze it.
Yeah, to find the story of the game.
Right.
Or not necessarily to find the story of the game, but to find to really get the complete narrative.
It's also a way to get players to explore the rest of the game, because if they hide stuff in corners, you're going to be more likely to turn corners that you wouldn't just you want to get the audio clips too.
I don't know. That's something that people complain about a lot. Is not complain about openly, but it's something that I've seen parodied in a lot of games, hidden audio logs. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
I'm not necessarily a fan of it, but it forces players to explore more.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think, a hit or miss kind of thing. There's some games that I feel do it really
I'm personally a fan of audio logs because some games now, I just played Far Cry 4 recently, and you can't skip a lot of the cutscenes in that game, which I am not a huge fan of because even if it's a game that I really like BioShock Infinite, I still want to be able to skip cutscenes because... it's if I'm ready to play and I'm satisfied with the amount of information that I have, I just want to get on with what I'm doing, which is playing the game. So it frustrates me when I'm playing a game like Far Cry 4 and I pick up a mission and I can't just get right into it when I understand why I'm doing it and why I'm there. And I understand people work hard on these things and a lot of time goes into developing cutscenes and making all that stuff play out, but don't force me to appreciate your art. I'm serious. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't necessarily agree, but I do think you should have the option to skip a cutscene if you want.
Right.
To, I guess.
Yeah, and maybe that's a really strong point. Is don't force me to appreciate your art, but that's how I feel about it.
I guess the point that I'm going to make though is
And I think that was something they talked about in Beer Bros recently, and I overheard them saying something similar to that, and yeah, I agree with that, and it's I think that cutscenes should be skippable on that bias,
Yeah, and I guess I understand that that you should at least have the option to do it.
Yes.
But it's I guess in the same breath, it's the kind of thing where if you're skipping cutscenes and then maybe they're afraid that you're not going to understand something, and then you're going to criticize the game for not, who are all these people and I don't know what's going on, and it's well, you shouldn't have skipped the cutscenes, and it's you shouldn't have made me care about the cutscenes. It's well, if you didn't watch the cutscenes, how are you supposed to care about the cutscenes? Yeah, so.
I understand, but that there's cares that development teams have about that stuff.
I think that can to tie it back to our fucking topic. I think that can be an issue that could create poor conveyance. If you're not paying attention, if you're not watching the cutscenes, sometimes you do need the context of what's going on in them.
Yeah, and that I don't like.
Yeah.
I think all the context that you need to play a game should be
from gameplay.
From gameplay, yeah. And with that being said,
that's actually a really good transition to our the games we had examples for games that teach you by playing.
Yes.
That methodology.
Right.
So I think the first example that we came up with was a game like Minecraft, which is a game that is
building crafting games in general.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, crafting survival games. But Minecraft is the one that started that.
Because they teach you how to play with the recipes, and you guys were talking about it earlier. By late game, they kind of just expect you to understand how the mechanics work.
Enough to explore.
Right. So you just start putting stuff together that makes sense, and you get reasonable results. Hopefully. I mean, sure, yeah. Sure. Obviously, some of them are fantastical, but it's a video game, so
right. Yeah, I think
it's not chemistry.
Yeah, when we were trying to brainstorm ideas for this, it was something we were talking about before with Minecraft. It was when you first are dropped into the game, you have the ability. They teach you how to make a crafting table, and you learn how to craft that way, and you're able to craft the things you need to survive and to advance with the game.
Basic stuff.
Yeah,
but just enough to get by, really.
Yeah, your sword.
It's basically any crafting game.
Whatever. But yeah, and if you want to get something the Iron Golem or something like that, you do have to kind of figure that on your own.
Right.
By just experimenting and putting pieces together.
Yeah, and that's just a good way of
keeping information. I don't know, I think it's a good thing and a bad thing, because I usually
double-edged sword.
Right, I usually just end up looking up a guide. I never figure that shit out.
I do the same thing, but at least it made me look up a guide.
I don't know.
That.
I think, that is kind of a good point, though, is some players kind of want there to be that mystery for you to have to discover that stuff. But
because if it's not there, it's not any fun.
But it's also how am I supposed to figure that out unless I'm sinking tons of time just experimenting with parts?
Well, that was the problem with old school point and clicks.
Yeah.
Is that a lot of puzzles, you end up at this wall where you don't know what to do, and it's okay, I guess I'll try combining all of my inventory items together, or try combining all my items with this thing I'm stuck with.
Or I'll try just clicking around the room, looking for things I can interact with, stuff
and again, it gets right.
In the hopes that something works.
I was just about to say, it gets to a point where you're desperate enough or frustrated enough to where you're just I'm just gonna look up a guide and figure it out. Right. Well, not figure it out, but have somebody tell me how to do it. Yeah.
End your torment.
And I think, even to tie it back to the crafting games, I look at a game like Ark, which we've been playing a little bit recently.
It's pretty good.
And that game has a pretty intuitive crafting system, I think, because it's very much you level up, and when you level up, you buy new crafting, just you get new recipes.
They call them engrams, which is a word I've never heard in my goddamn life.
Yeah, it's super weird. But you get new engrams, and then I wasn't even gonna explain it because it is so fucking weird. What is that even? Whatever.
I don't know.
It's basically skills, and then you use your skills to unlock your recipes, which means at least you know what your recipes are because you unlock them. And you don't remember what it is. You can look it up.
Well, it tells you. It tells you right there. Yeah.
Exactly.
So chakras. Do you align your engrams?
It's like an esoteric form of skill points given to you from alien gods or something.
Sure.
That's an engram, sure. Get a bunch of engrams together and you know how to build a table.
Yeah.
So.
Whatever. Why not?
But that's a cool system about the game where it's like Pete said, since you level up and you choose what recipes you're able to learn.
Right.
If you're playing it with your friends, you kind of have this gameplay angle that opens up where it's like, okay, I'm going to get all of these recipes, you're going to get all these recipes, so you're going to be the blacksmith, I'm going to be the gatherer, and you're going to be the hunter.
Yeah, it really encourages teamwork.
Right. That was what I was getting at.
Yeah. And also, and I think
that's hard.
It also encourages you to like. I think like it's a really good example again of like a game that does teach you by playing, where like it encourages you to like, all right, well I gotta level up if I want to get more recipes so that I can make more stuff, and like it makes a really satisfying gameplay loop.
It's a little grindy, but like whatever.
Yeah, but I think it's like, you know, it makes for a good loop where it's just kind of like, you know, I need to do this so I can do this so I can do this so I can build the next thing so I can tame the next dinosaur.
It's never like a point A to point B thing. It's always like you said. It's to do this, to do another thing,
it's
to
rewarding.
then do what you want.
Yeah, no, it's totally
actually rewarding.
That's
that's
why I like it so much.
It's interesting for games like that to have players create short-term and long-term goals for yourself to achieve.
Yeah.
That are open-ended.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool that there are mechanics at play that interact with one another in ways that are a little more dynamic than you see in some crafting games. Like the fact that there is like not only the ability to craft all these different items and stuff, but also like the ability to tame the dinosaurs, and like that you can then use.
It's like Pokemon though.
Yeah, right. And then
crazy.
Like you can use the dinosaurs to get more items to advance your crafting more, and like I think it's cool like how it gives you that ability to like build and keep building up and out in a way that's more.
If you think about it, it's really just a lot like. Kind of like an MMO where you have your character who can craft items, but the game's just more centered around crafting more than combat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
like, weird.
It is.
Now that I think about it that way.
Yeah, it encourages combat like minimally because like you have to engage in combat if you want to tame the dinosaurs.
Right.
So like you do like it encourages combat, but not in a way where like combat is a primary objective. And like that's why I think like, you know, again to tie it back to conveyance.
I just feel like I looked at those games at an angle I've never seen them before. That was really weird.
And I think that game is like that's why I like Ark so much. I really think Ark in a big way is like is one of the better games I've seen that like really executes on what I think games like that can really do, and be in a way that's really satisfying.
Yeah, there definitely there will be other games that draw influence from it, and I'm excited to see that.
And I'm excited to see what Ark looks like in a couple of years, like if it's
when it finally like comes out to 1.0.
Well, that's what I'm saying, man. Like look at how primitive Minecraft was compared to what Minecraft is now.
Yeah, man.
And look at what Ark,
even Darkest Dungeon just came out fully.
Yeah, and like we talked about this I think on an earlier podcast, like. The early access game.
Yeah, the early access one.
Like Darkest Dungeon, like I would have paid $25 for Darkest Dungeon in alpha. Like it was good enough.
I did.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like not even 25. I meant like more than
20.
that. I would have spent like full price on it, but I got it for $20 too.
Yeah, but I mean,
maybe even less than that.
I got it like as soon as it came out in early access, and it's just out now, and it's perfect.
We gotta do let's play that. That game is so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what? Actually, there was a game I wanted to circle back to because we were talking about like where story was concerned, keeping information from you. I think a game that we both have played. I'm sorry, Thompson. I feel like fucking you're not getting to talk too much in this one. But that's me and Ozzy just never shut up. Is the Stanley Parable. I think that game does a really good job of keeping information from the player because. Like you never, it's another one of those games where it's what you take away from it.
Right.
That's really what it's about.
I was about to say, it's like, it's really not even a matter of keeping information from the player, because it's like, what information does that game even have to give to begin with?
Like there are like lots of answers though, because like you like the framing of the game and everything. Like you have to beat the game like in every different way to even really try to like formulate an opinion of what's really happening.
Right.
In it, and I think that's so interesting. Like that's why I think that game is one of the most memorable games I've ever played.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
if you want to go by that standard, like that game I Divine Cybermancy, that's the same thing. You'll not understand unless you beat that 3 or 4 times. And like I know you played that. And you hated it.
I think that game, like I didn't know what the hell I.
Right.
That was a
Steam
game.
Stanley Parable is that like it's the same game. I only understood it after 3 playthroughs.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Is that good conveyance or bad conveyance?
I don't know. It keeps everything from you to the point where, like, if you don't beat the game 2 or 3 times in a row, you won't know what's going on.
Do you feel like it enticed you to play it more than once?
Yes, it did.
Because that was the thing for me with Stanley Parable is like...
Right.
No, it definitely did for me.
How long is the experience? Because that game you can beat in like...
I had the opposite with I Divine Cybermancy because at least with like Stanley Parable... I know what I'm doing. It's like, yeah, you don't understand the meaning of it 2 or 3 times in, but with I Divine Cybermancy, I played that game and I was literally just like, what does this game want me to do? Like, I have this gun,
right.
I have these quests, and I don't know where to go. I don't know who to shoot.
Yeah, Stanley Parable
like that's
hallway.
Right. Like, so like I Divine Cybermancy was a classic example of like that game did not teach me how to play it, or like where to go, and like that's why I wasn't enticed to beat it. And like, props to you for fucking beating that game 3 times.
Well, you know what? Like,
I'm sure you can figure it out.
It's like once you level up and beat it the first time, you get stronger and better. And the next playthrough, you keep all that shit. So like, when you go to the next playthrough, like by the time I hit the 3rd playthrough, I was like 6 hours for the whole game, and it's kind of long, you know. It's not like a week-long experience, but it's long enough that 6 hours was pretty quick because I was blowing through it. You know, everyone was a one-shot kill at that point. But it's like I just wanted to know what was going on, and I actually had to look it up anyway, because like I figured out a good portion, but I was like, I'm not beating this 5 more times.
Yeah, it's such a steep learning curve, in my opinion.
It's ridiculous, yeah.
Anyway, so I'm sorry we're jumping around so much, but this is something I wanted to bring up when we were talking about crafting games. Yeah. You brought up Dwarf Fortress.
Oh shit, I forgot.
Talk about bad conveyance.
So, like, the long and short of the short of it, Dwarf Fortress is basically just like, picture everything you loved about Minecraft, but you need a 238 page.
238 page.
It's so ridiculous that there's a 238 page book that came out that you can now like start the game with this book.
You don't need it.
No, you need it. You haven't played it. You need it. Okay, it's bad. It's like you don't know what the fuck you're doing. I still don't know what I'm doing.
What was that other space-based game that's similar to Dwarf Fortress that we were trying to play with Casey?
Oh God, I remember
Space
that.
Station 13.
Yeah.
See, okay, that's different.
Holy
that game is a
crap.
role-playing game, and it's not meant to just like pick.
Right.
You gotta like
that
read
game
about
made
it.
no sense.
It does though.
It's because the rules are made by the players. That's why.
That's why it makes no sense. You gotta like play it if you like. Unfortunately, that doesn't. You know.
It's like trying to understand the rules of that game is.
It's all like there.
It's all Redditors, man. Like
it's not all Redditors. No.
It was just so. It's all 4chaners.
Partly
Even
the TG
worse.
server. No, come on. Disparage my friends at 4chan.
Yeah.
Hang out the right boards. It's okay.
But yeah, no, man. Like that game was nuts because I remember like Casey was just trying to like get us to follow him somewhere.
Yeah, we couldn't even find him.
Like literally,
on the same
like
point,
we couldn't follow him down a hallway.
I couldn't follow him down a hallway like for the first 10 minutes, and then like 2 hours later, I turned some dude into a slime man. Like,
but like that's
you know
insane though.
That's what I mean. Like it's like really cool shit you can do.
It's cool, but that is
right. It's cool, but the game doesn't teach you how to play it.
Yeah, it took me like 2 hours to learn. You know.
From Casey taught you how to play it.
I
The
read
game
a guide.
didn't.
I just read. You know.
Okay, so another player wrote
but like every
a guide
server
about
pretty
it.
much says read the guide on how to play the game.
That's dumb.
Okay, but so
it's
when
not as bad as 238 pages in Dwarf Fortress.
Okay, I was gonna say so when Dwarf Fortress does it, it's bad. But when
right.
No, it's bad because it's
Space Station
238
13
fucking pages, and the Space Station 13.
Our point we're trying to make is that
our
point that we're trying to make is that the game needs to teach you how to play,
not
somebody else.
At least a little bit.
Right. Space Station 13 is like never.
I don't care if it's a text box or a tutorial.
I don't know if it's a fair. You know, that game's dear to me too. I understand it's hard to learn all that. Like I give it that, but like. That game's really just made by players, you know.
Even text boxes are a little weird because if you think back to like Super Mario World, like text boxes are fine as long as they don't like stop the game.
What do you mean? We have to read text?
Right, like
you just like don't want to read.
I really hate reading dialogue boxes.
Yeah, you want to get the cutscenes out of the way.
I really do.
You want to
yeah.
Get no text.
It's not that like I'm against story. But
no. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just hate like text boxes and pop-ups.
Does it like ruin the flow of the
like
game?
That.
Like
it does. You
want the information to be given like.
It's not even. It's not even about like breaking the immersion of and immersion. It's like I don't care about that. It's I don't know. Fucking.
It breaks the gameplay loop.
Yeah. There. That's the perfect way of saying it. Yeah.
I don't know, dude. Like to me anyway, like a good game anyway. I feel like cutscenes should feel like a reward. You know, like I feel like a game that always makes me feel like that is like I always hate to beat this drum because I am a fanboy for them, but BioWare games feel like that to me, where like you like you're like excited to get through a combat point, and not because the combat's bad, but because it's like I gotta get down this fucking hallway, like Mass Effect, right? I gotta get down this hallway so I can get to this next plot point, and like the plot point is always what is driving you, and that the fact that the gameplay is like fun keeps you engaged along the way, and like they feed each other in a way that's like continues to be satisfying. I think like maybe even a good example of that is something like Legend of Zelda to maybe like a lesser degree because there aren't like
even like Ratchet and Clank.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean like maybe like Zelda might be a better example of what you're looking for because like there aren't like cutscenes per se and like the dialogue boxes are limited. Whereas
that's
like
why
you get somewhere.
That's why I brought up Super Mario World as a instance where it's done kind of incorrectly, where in Super Mario World you're playing the level and you jump up and you hit the text box and the game freezes.
Yeah.
That's what I don't like.
Oh, and it's like, here's how you do something?
Right.
That's kind of dumb. Yeah.
So I...
Oh, good. Derailed.
Sorry.
No, it was just like fucking content flag. Like,
oh, come on. I'm not that good at it.
No, I know.
Not yet.
I just hate like referencing other shit in our videos.
Cut.
And that's a wrap. No.
Yeah, we're like a half hour anyway. So we got like another 5 minutes we can do.
Well, yeah, I think we did like 5 minutes of
That's what I'm saying.
nonsense too. So yeah, I think we can keep it going for a little bit.
All right.
Where was I?
Let's talk about bad conveyance.
Before you fucking... Oh, yeah, text boxes.
They break the gameplay flow.
Yeah, so it's like... It bothers me when they freeze the game. It's fine if like okay, like if I'm gonna go from like Super Mario World to Super Mario Sunshine, fucking in Super Mario Sunshine they have like the water pack that talks.
Oh, the flood. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that what they call it?
It's like a.
Really? Like it's an acronym?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like somebody throw me a lifeline here. Like, what's the word? Yeah, I forget what it stands for.
But yeah, it's just like in that game, they changed it a little bit from Super Mario World, because like
instead of... You're talking about 64?
No, Super Mario Sunshine, because I brought up the flood specifically because
I thought you meant like World. Never mind. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So in World, the boxes stop the game. It's like, hey, like hit this button to like hold down Y to run or something. And in Super Mario Sunshine, you're playing that first level, and the flood is just like, oh, if you hold down the right trigger, you can hover. Yeah. And it's like, that's fine. Like, as long as I'm still playing the game, and there's a voice that's just like, hey, hit this button to do this. It's like, that's fine. I'm still playing the game.
So you're talking about, like the Navi kind of thing, too? Where
right, like
hey.
voice. Right, like voice. Well, even Navi, because, like, sometimes it stops the game.
That's what I mean. Like, that's bad.
Right.
Yeah, that's, like, what you're talking about.
If it
breaks the gameplay flow.
If it were just a voice cue where, like...
Navi was like, hey, remember this, you can, this to guard, like...
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine to me, where if, like, I'm just battling, and it's, like, sure, it might be a little distracting, but it's better.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It's my 2 cents on that.
I think, you know what, like, we're gonna, like, I don't want to, like, get too far into this, because I know we talked about wanting to do a whole topic about this one day, but, like, I think, like, companions, right? Like, a good example of that is, like, a character like Elizabeth in, like, BioShock Infinite, where, like...
I'm not following. What does this have to do with it?
I didn't want to, like, break off from that too much, but I'm saying, like, a character like that where, like, instead of breaking flow to give you information...
Oh, Navi's stopping you, but, like, Elizabeth in Infinite, she's, like, throws you ammo in the middle of the fight, and you're like, oh, sweet, thanks, I needed that, and
it takes,
also,
like, 2 seconds.
I'm still shooting.
Whereas in games of yesteryear, there would have been a text box that popped up where it's like, here, take this ammo, and it's like, oh my god, fine. Like,
or, like, like, she'll be like, oh, like, let's, like, a character who's like, let's go this way, like, and, like, directs you while the game is still
I'm glad you brought that up, because I felt like I was being misconveyed.
Yeah, no, I think I'm
misconstrued.
I think...
Damn it. Misunderstood is what I...
Wait,
No.
No.
I can't sing here?
No, we're gonna get a copyright strike,
That's
man.
right.
You guys, you're singing...
For that song?
Your voices are too good. So, I think, there's probably at least, like, there's one more elephant in the room that we gotta address when we're talking about bad conveyance. And I know this is something that you guys immediately both came to, you want to talk about.
Gosh.
And I know I have very little to say because I said enough about it in our Games We Hate podcast, but let's address it. Dark Souls.
Yeah, okay, alright. So they keep some things from you, alright. I'll give you that.
Some things?
So most of the things tell you where to go, how to level up, and,
There's a
properly.
tutorial. They tell you the controls.
They do, but that's what I'm saying. They tell you how to play the
Tutorial.
game. They tell you how to play it. They don't tell you anything
Run down the
else.
hallway, good luck!
That's pretty much it. I'll give you that. It's like probably a really good example.
My argument...
The Souls series and Bloodborne, and it's like they're dear to me, but like god damn it, like I just realized when I was playing Bloodborne this week that like I spent the last like half of that time sitting there going like, fuck, where do I go?
Where do I go?
Just sitting there screaming, or I just go pop on the computer and read a guide again. So like that's I'm just
that's what it
I
comes
love him,
down
but
to.
like damn it, like tell me at least a little bit.
And yeah, that's what it comes down to. Is like we play these games, and for some goddamn reason, we love them so much. And
It's still like
we play them to the end
practically, but god damn.
But it's like the fact of the matter is we still have to look up that guide to figure out where to go.
Right.
I think that's at the end of the day, that's bad conveyance, man.
It's
bad.
It's really bad.
And it's bad.
It's
that's
like
a bad game design.
It's like the problem could be solved by exploring, but
like you do explore and you still run around for an hour going, well,
and
that's great. I explored the same
in a game like Dark
Souls.
And the game also punishes you for exploring.
That's what I was gonna say. In a game like Dark Souls, exploration is such a risk that you almost like don't want to do it.
Right.
Especially if you don't know where you're going, and it's like, if I go to this new zone, am I gonna get one-shotted by the next enemy that I'm not supposed to fight yet?
And that was what I brought up before, where it gets to a point where you hit this wall where you're either frustrated enough or disappointed enough with yourself that you look up the guide.
But there's been like 3 times since I've been playing Bloodborne that I dropped the controller, like, fuck it, I died too many times, I don't know where I'm going yet. And then like I wait 10 minutes and I turn around going, you know what, damn it, I'm not gonna put this thing down yet until I beat this boss,
And it's one thing if you look it up and it's like right under your nose and you were just like, oh, like, god damn it, I
mean, we've all had that moment.
Right.
It's like, thank God we live in the age of the internet where you can figure that out in 10 seconds.
Yeah, for sure. But
and, keep advancing your game.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the scenarios aren't just like, oh, if I would have looked left, I would have seen it. It was like, oh, I had to, do the hokey pokey.
You gotta scale this mountain and slide down this ladder and go shimmy over this ledge.
The mountain I didn't even know was there.
Kill a dragon.
Yeah.
And I know.
And that's why, like, I think, like, a good, even counterpoint to that would be, like, a game like something like Mega Man or Shovel Knight or even Legend of Zelda, where it's a game that is totally item-based and it's about,
side-scrollers are very easy to convey where to go. It's always to the right.
Well, I wasn't going to say where to go. I was going to say, like, more in terms of, like, how the game works. Which is
like teaching you the gameplay aspects.
Yeah, because as much as like we were talking about like Dark Souls not telling you where to go or Bloodborne even.
I mean, again, dude, I don't want to like talk about anything that Ego Raptor didn't already talk about in those sequelitis episodes.
Oh yeah, but I mean, what I was gonna say.
Thanks.
Thank you. What I was gonna say was like I think something that they do really well, any of those kinds of games, is that like you're presented with an item that like you might not necessarily need to advance. Right, like you can get through the entirety of Mega Man or Shovel Knight without using any of the extra items.
That's true.
But like when the level where you first encounter any given item, is like there's always like the thing where it's like you need this item on this level, right? And like I think a good example of that is like
Legend of Zelda did that a lot.
Yeah, I mean like every dungeon, like you need a certain item generally.
A Link to the Past did that a lot, but you didn't need every item.
No,
they just made them easier.
Whereas like the first game you can beat with just a sword.
And Mega Man's kind of the same way. You don't need them, but they make the bosses easier.
Yeah. Whereas like you look at some of the games now where it's like you do like some of the items.
What were you saying?
Yeah. Where some of the items like you do need them to advance. So it's like
that bothers me.
Yeah.
I feel like that's more of a fad with games nowadays.
It's more recent. It's like they're gateways.
Right. There's like a locked door, and it's like find the key. And it's like, I'm like all right.
Whereas
you know what? Going back to that, Bloodborne, every single fucking gate you go up to does not open from this side. Really?
Yeah.
Every time.
And
but to be fair, they are shortcuts that you have to go through the long way to get to. But that's just really kind of arbitrary when every single place ends up having a shortcut.
Another classic example is the Resident Evil series, where there's always like a gate that's like hip level, and the character's like, the gate is locked from the other side. It's like, fuck, Chris, just jump it. Like,
you punch boulders. Can't you walk over this like 2-foot gate?
Stuff like that just pisses me off to no end.
I always feel that way about doors. Like doors in games piss me off most of the time, where it's just like, bro, like I can throw a truck, why can't I get through a door? I'll break the fucking lock. I don't care. Like especially in like games like 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 games you can like pick a lock, like
Fallout.
Fallout, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, shoot the fucking lock off with my double-barreled shotgun.
Or rocket launcher.
Any character building game, is like that.
It's just
Like,
like,
you
come
have
on, man.
access to like explosives or something that can end 100 people in a couple seconds, you should be able to open a door.
Yeah.
Just no matter, you should even bash that damn door open if you're just using like a gun that has no ammo in it, but it's a minigun? Come on, man. The door would be made like, out of manium or something to stand up to that shit. It's awful.
How about we talk about more door bashing in video games next time on Slack and Cast?
Yeah, I think that sounds good, guys.
Nice.
Alright, guys, so thanks for joining us here on this episode of Slack and Cast. If you guys liked the video, please make sure to like it, share it with all your friends, subscribe to the channel, make sure to check back every Tuesday and Thursday, sporadic Mondays for podcasts, Fridays and Februarys. We're all over the place these days.
Whenever we get stuff done,
yeah, right?
it shows up.
See, and if you subscribe to the channel, you'll get all those updates right in your inbox, right from the little YouTube app that you probably got on your phone, right? It'll be great. You can also follow any of us on Twitter. Follow at @slackandslash on Twitter. Visit
3 names.
Visit us at slackandslash.com, all that fun stuff. Get us on the social media. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Do it. Stop it. Stop. Alright, you want to shut the door? Oh.
This task might be beyond me.
Do you want me to do it?
No.
Do you want me to do it? This task is too monumental. I must crew it.
Okay.
You know what you'll do with...
Can we put our dicks on the table yet?
You know what you'll do with the day I return?
Oh god.
Crew it. Sweep the leg. Red side. Wrong movie? Yep. No? No? Karate Kid? No?
Sweep the leg.
Nobody?
No, I know. It was just the fact that you questioned yourself, like, wrong movie? No, I got that right. Like, they just don't get it. No.
That's called acting, Ozzy. You can't act.
I know, and it made me laugh. Shut up, asshole. Hi, we're doing the Slack and Cast.
Alright, let's do a countdown.
Okay, fine.